Welcome to the Northwest Watercolor Society 2026 Annual Waterworks Membership Exhibition. I'd like to welcome you. My name is Molly Murrah, and I'm the usual host of most of our Zoom meetings and events and things like that. And we hold Waterworks every year in order to recognize the extraordinary talents of our member artists and volunteers. And we are proud of them and proud of the work that they do. And we really salute each and every one of you. We have over 1,000 members, so it's a large group. We're all over the world, and we salute you. I'd first like to introduce Debbie Roskoff, our president. She's going to say a few words about this extraordinary exhibition, and then we'll introduce our juror, Michael Solovyev, who will say a few words about his chosen submissions. Okay, Debbie.
Hi, everyone. So nice to be with you tonight. Welcome to all of you artists and all your guests and your relatives and all of the art lovers that are with us tonight. First, I know that we frequently thank our volunteers, and I would like to remind everyone that, of course, these things don't happen by themselves. With every exhibition, we have become rather specialized in our volunteer work. And we have, I'll say about 10 or 12 people that do the bulk of the work for our exhibitions. And so the burden is not too much for any one person. Everyone has their task. They're very familiar with it. I think they could do it while they sleep. So as a group, we get it done quite easily. That's why our exhibitions, both the open and the waterworks, look like nobody had to do much work because they're all so very good at what they do. So big thanks to the volunteers out there. And something that's going to change this year too is we're always evolving, of course, as you know, and open to new things. So we think that you will enjoy this next change, and that is that instead of a printed catalog that comes to those who have entered entered this exhibition and the patrons that we usually do, we're not doing the printed catalog this year. We're doing an online. It's a flip book, and it is an award winners flip book. So everyone will be able to see this. This will be up in a few days, and the gallery will be up also tonight. But when we have this flip book up, first of all, you'll be able to call it up no matter where you are. And secondly, you'll be able to see those images, just their in all their brilliance and clarity. So we think you'll really enjoy that. And again, it's going to be in a flip book form. It will only be the award winners, so the images will be nice and large, and then you can see all of the images in the form of the gallery that will be online. And that will be, as I said, that will be up as soon as this reception ends. But I want you to know that every year we are looking for a feedback. We, as the people that are on the board of NWWS, we always want to know that we're doing things right, that we're fulfilling our mission. And every time we have an exhibition, it tells me that we are doing things right, that we really are a partner with our members. And I say that because when we decide on an event or something educational for everyone, that's our responsibility. When you all participate in that event and you take something away from it, then you've grown as an artist. And when we have an exhibition like this members exhibition, and we're able to see where you can't quantify it, but we can tell that what we're doing is valued by you. And that's how I see our partnership. And we really appreciate that. And we will keep doing what we're doing, so that we all get better as artists. So thank you for your support. And I want you to know that I know Michael had a tough time, as our jurors always do, because the talent is so vast. But we did have 536 paintings that were entered this year. We had 272 artists, and that was from 29 states and 6 countries. So we are quite proud of your response and your involvement, your partnership with NWWS. Michael is here with us. He is, gosh, I'm going to say a little bit about him, and then I'm going to let him comment on our exhibition and his process. But we've really grown to cherish our relationship with him. He is Michael Solovyev has been an artist. A what a talent to be able to have been an artist his full entire life. As he said, I've never had to be an insurance salesman or anything. I've always been an artist, and boy, it sure shows in his work. He is an esteemed instructor. He is valued and judges exhibitions internationally. He lives in Canada and he's coming tonight. He's with us tonight and he's coming to us from Belgium. And it's 2 or 3 in the morning for him. So I'm sure he'll be 100%.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Debbie.
we're just really enjoying working with you, Michael. We've had such good comments about your demos and those who participated in your workshop this week couldn't say enough kind things about you. So thank you for being
Thank
here, and thank you for being such a good friend to NWWS. So I'm going to let you make a few comments about what it's like to judge an exhibition like this with such beautiful paintings, and then we'll get right into the presentation.
Michael, would you
Okay.
let me share a couple of slides first? I want to show Debbie's work.
Yes, please.
This is Debbie's painting, and
Beautiful.
it's gorgeous. And then, of course, I want to show your painting. And both paintings are for sale, you guys. So anyway, gorgeous work, Michael. All right, now I'll flip back to you. Okay, Michael.
Yeah, okay. Before we start to check the slideshow, and I will explain points and say some words about the artworks. Before I have to tell you the main idea, what I'm following, that I make a selection. I'm really traveling a lot from the festival to another one festival and a lot of exhibition. Just for instance, just 1 week ago, I have been in the Fabriano in Italy, the biggest watercolor festival. Right after that, 3 days ago, I have been in Brescia Aquarelle. It's a very huge, nice festival in France. So I always see a lot of artworks on the walls, on the exhibition. And I want to tell you what, for sure, on the festivals, on the exhibitions, all the paintings, what represented, they are good quality. Anyway, technically, professional, absolutely. But what I'm really appreciate the personal feeling inside the painting. Then it's not just an apple or just a street. It's a feeling about that apple, the feeling about that street. So it's make it unique because that's the reason why we're doing art, you know? And then I see it on the artworks. It's really touching because the technical level, how to paint the street, the buildings, the still lifes, if you study that, it's not a big deal. It's more technical job, but we're talking about the soul, the feeling. And if I see that on the artworks, for me, it's the most important than the technical tricks. But anyway, all the artworks, what you will see in the first couple of hours, all of them very professional, absolutely. And for me, it was a surprise to see really that level of the artworks on that exhibition, and they are different. That's the really pleasure to see absolutely different style, absolutely different subjects and ideas. That's kind of unusual stuff. You will see that a lot of artworks, like a professional artist, I never imagined to paint that subject. And then I see it on the painting. Wow, that's so cool because I never think what that can be paintable. So that's make it really, really interesting, nice, and truly art. So we can start.
Okay. And I'd like to remind everybody that there's 75 pieces accepted. So we're not going to be giving really long explanations of why, exactly why Michael selected every piece. I mean, I'm sure he could because he did a fabulous job on this show, but we'll be sort of sailing through. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's just brilliant. First of all, I know how complicated technically to make it because here is a wet on wet. What I really appreciate the transparency. For sure, it's nice reflection, nice technical things, but it's a very delicate artwork. I see the touching, and it's not a lot of layers. So the freshness of the watercolor here is the very, very appreciated. Brilliant job. Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy to make abstract art anyway. It's one of the most complicated point. But talking about the watercolor here, what I'm really like, the artists play with the texture, with the different pigments. We have a granulation here, kind of lunar black, and the combination of the different technical materials in watercolor in one painting, it's not easy to do. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very emotional artwork, and it's very nice made technically. So it's good combination of two things in one painting. That painting, I watch very carefully. I make a big zoom on my screen trying to understand how it's made. Because some part look like a truly like a watercolor. Some part look like a little bit like a oil, but still transparent and nice. So that's unusual style. Absolutely. I really appreciate it. And it's very emotional painting in the same moment. So brilliant job. Absolutely. Technically, I can take off my hat. It's beautiful, but it's a very professional made explanation of the texture. All the it's just brilliant. But more important, the color selection. It's not just we go into the red colors. It's a very complicated selection of the colors here in one painting, which is like a very unusual decision of the artist. And again, it's very emotional. So I appreciate that artwork. You see, it's exactly what I'm talking about. In one exhibition, they are so different. After that bright red colors, we're going to almost black and white picture. But you see the yellow and a little bit greenish accents here, a little bit bluish. So that a very delicate, very delicate job with the colors in one painting, plus absolutely professional way how to use the watercolor. So everything here, and it's very nice composition as well, very dynamic. Absolutely gorgeous. Uh, it's For me, it's like a little bit part of my favorite artist, Andrew White. You for sure you know him. The idea how the artist build the composition, it's again very unusual, but it's so emotional, and I really like it. And plus, works with the texture and the delicate touching, beautiful. Very nice play with the reflection. It's not easy to make, and I know the person who make it. We are friends, and I know how she painted normally. So that a little bit different style for her, which for me it's a really pleasure to see that. And in one painting, select the orange, yellow, green, and blue colors, all of them together, and build a balance to make it not look like a traffic light. Not easy job, and I'm really like it. One of the most complicated subject for any painters is just the water, especially in the watercolor. This done very well because we have a good feeling of the water, and again, the subject here is just brilliant. I'm really like what I don't see the face, and because of the composition, I feel myself like a part of that scene. I'm inside the painting, which is really nice. It's make it very personal. Uh, one of the important points why we like the watercolor, for sure, from my perspective, the freshness. Then it's not overpainted, a little bit unfinished. So that's the good example of that. We have a feeling, we have emotions, we have understandable objects, but they're very delicate, unfinished. That means then I look at the painting, I start to rebuild the picture, and I can make it a little bit personal. And I really appreciate it. Special white on white. It's not easy to paint like that. That's another one beautiful example about unfinished painting. Here's a lot of details missing, and that's make it really look nice. Because I believe everybody, all the artists know that problem. Then you start to paint, it's very hard to stop. You continue to put more details and more and more and more, and to control the paper and stop in the right moment. That's it's a big challenge. So here I really appreciate it because everything is understandable. I see the daytime, I see the object, I see the emotions about that, but I really appreciate what the artists stop. It's delicate. Very nice color selection. Really, what is more interesting, not, just take the purple and yellow, it's not a big deal. But the colors on the white part here, it's truly interesting playing game. A little bit purple, a little bit greenish, a little bit orange in the white. That's not easy to do. And the light is so soft, so nice. It's one of the painting what I'm agreed to put on my wall. So I appreciate it.
Oops, sorry.
Mm, great. Yeah, that's acrylic now, so it's kind of different. Again, it's very hard to look at this painting and not smiling. Then I see that I'm always smiling because, then I make a selection. I saw all the paintings, all 500 paintings, many times. So I'm trying to really not make a mistake. So I'm trying to understand what is good, what is wrong. So that again, I like what the artist stop in the right moment, not overpaint it, and it's look beautiful. Yeah, yeah, we can continue. Nice job. Yeah, the white snow, it's another one change. It's like a water. White on white, it's always challenge and it's not easy to paint. Very nice texture, very delicate working with the colors here. And what I'm really like, the background, the trees, they're not overpainted, but in the same moment, I see a lot of details there. I can look at the trees again and again. So finally, it's very good organized piece of paper. Uh, the composition here, beautiful, brilliant. What I'm like there, working with the texture, with the colors, and how that organized it, it's really nice. Again, the abstract art, it's always big challenge for the artist. So this done very well. Uh, about the streetscapes because I like to paint the streets as well, and I painted on the plein air in the studio many times. And I can tell you, it's not easy to paint not just a regular street, to make it some atmosphere here, to make some emotions inside. It's always not easy job. So this time we have it. It's not just a street. Then I look at this painting, I can say, I want to be there. I love that place, and I feel what the artist love that place as well. So that costs something, definitely. That's I like. Look, first, the colors again. It's like a little bit, I can say indigo here inside mostly. with some black. The subject, that's what I said to myself. I'm never gonna paint that. I have something like that in my garage for sure, but I never think to paint it. But it's so beautiful and so nice. So again, it's a surprise for me, and I really appreciate what the artists select that object. It's just like, we have a lot of things around us, and sometimes we just don't see that, and that's like a discovery. That's really good. Um, it, that's hard to explain because it's a long story. It's a part of the traditional education of the fine art, and we start to play with the texture and create something like this, like a mosaic. The very delicate selection of the colors, a very nice composition. The artist, and then he built it going out of the frame, so it's look like a part of the big wall. And I'm always back to that painting to see what inside and how it's made. That nice details. So it's a very well organized paper. Beautiful. I'm still do not understand what's the medium here except the watercolor, but it's look nice. Absolutely gorgeous unfinished watercolor. So, that's a very delicate balance between almost abstract painting and pretty realistic boats here on the water. Plus, very delicate job with the color, special because of the colors on the background, a little bit purple colors here, keep the balance between the yellow and blue boats. So a very nice and very delicate job. I really appreciate it. It's a truly watercolor. Look, the spray special effect, the white paper here, then I see it, and I see it, it's not a white paint, it's a white paper, which is not easy to do. Wet on wet and beautiful trees combined in one spot. So that means the artists who start to make it uh, build the project in the mind before and following that step by step, and it's beautifully created, special with some nice details, the texture on the rocks on the right side. So that's just perfect combination. Such a nice character, right? So yeah, normally then I see the characters like that, and then I paint it. I'm focusing on the light, and I'm following the light, shadows and lights on the face. Here, the light is very soft, which is very hard to make, but it's such a nice character, and the artists pick up this character perfectly. Very nice, very sweet. Again, the color selection here just gorgeous. More unusual, and what I'm really like there. Sometimes the art standing on a little bit. Sometimes just a small difference between the nice artwork and the masterpiece. And sometimes that small things can change everything. Look at the orange line on top. Without that, that painting never will be that good organized. So just one line uh, in the relationship with the skin tone create the picture, and it's just very beautiful. Absolutely. Uh, that's another one example, balance between almost abstract painting, truly watercolor, and understandable landscape. That's great challenge to combine all the three things together and keep the freshness of and the language of the watercolor. So here all that stuff exists. Even if I have a white paint here, which is I never use in my painting, I still very appreciate how it's organized. Nice job. Yeah, another one, absolutely gorgeous balance between the very detailed job, precise, and the truly freshness of the watercolor with all the special effects. Then I see the cauliflowers on the watercolor paintings. I'm always happy because That's really natural language of watercolor. And mostly the artists are afraid to use it. So if I see it, that means the artist understood what's the medium he uses. And I really appreciate it. Special there because the lights, the emotions, and it's very touching painting. Again, this one I will be happy to put on my wall. Beautiful. Very nice characters. Very alive picture. Sometimes we can see something like that in the bars. So again, when I see that, I'm start to smiling. That means it's an art because it's touching the soul directly. I like the combination with the background, truly watercolor special effects, a little bit unfinished at the bodies, and together that works perfectly. That's I watched on that painting a couple of times. I make the zoom. I'm trying to understand how it was made. So I still have a couple of questions technically, but the thing is, a lot of things we never see on the screen for the watercolor. We have to see it in real. Like for instance, I'm not really understand which part made with a white paint, and whereas we have just a white paper, and on the screen it's not visible, but in reality, for sure, we'll see that. What I really appreciate here, what we see behind the window, all the details, the tables, all the things make it so alive, and the characters of the birds just beautiful. Can you look at this painting and not smiling? No, I couldn't. So I'm a dog man. Yeah, sure. It's a beautiful character. And normally when the people paint the puppy and the dogs looking to the artist, and then we took the photo like that normally. So I like that position. So it's very touching, and I appreciate what the artist not just focusing on the body on the dog, and paint the background. That the background, the door, the stairs here make it so real. So I believe in that picture, and that's important. Beautiful. I understand the mixed media. So here is for sure it's acrylic, some ink, nice combination, but the texture is very nice. And it's you can sell it to the IKEA because it's just a beautiful for the interior. You can put it on the wall near your couch, and it always will be look nice on the wall. So it's very nice, dynamic, organized square. Plus, I really like the square composition, so very well done. Truly nice, fresh, alive watercolor. Everything made in one layer, which is not easy to make, so it's so professional job. Beautiful. That's another one example. What personally, I never built that composition like that. Myself. If I want to paint the character will be huge. It takes almost all the paper. So I really appreciate what the artists include the environment and make the building so part of the street. In that case, I still focus on the character. I see the flowers and what he doing. It's very alive stand, but I see the street. Plus, I see the distance, and I feel like it's the morning time. So then the artist explained me not just the emotions, not just the character, but the daytime in the painting. And without like a visible marks, just a feeling about the daytime. That's miracle. So beautiful job. You see, another one example of the combination between the truly watercolor with the cauliflowers with a special watercolor effect and very precise made texture of the jumper. Beautiful combination, very well done. And personally, what I'm really like, the the piano not straight. All the lines slightly broken. That's make it very alive and natural. Beautiful. Amazing light here. Very nice composition. Beautiful job. And again, the colors. Um, if I will paint something like that, I'm never gonna use that turquoise for the roof. But that selection finally create the picture. I really like it. Um, that's interesting. Then I see the mixed media like that all the time. It's part of the human brain. We're trying to understand what inside the picture. So we're trying to make it understandable for us, visible. So I'm still trying to guess what is that. I know it's abstract painting. I don't have to do that, but I'm still trying. So then I look at the painting again and again and again. I'm trying to guess, and that's keep my eyes on that painting, and I appreciate it. That's good. Look, it's daytime, uh, time of the year, and happiness feeling, everything just because of the shadow. So that's truly art. It's not just painting the object, it's much more than object. And that's real art. So the artist have some idea, some feeling, and he found the best way to explain it. Beautiful. Uh, it's absolutely unusual way to use watercolor. And it's a very professionally made. That's what I like. So normally I prefer to paint in watercolor in one, two layers. And that's the main point why we like the watercolor because of the freshness. Here, I can say it's very close to the tempera or acrylic or oil, and but it still look fresh, which is very hard to make. That's why I think it's a very beautiful artwork. Uh, Look, I saw that creature many times in my life, but I never think to paint it. Oh, that's so beautiful and special. The point of view, amazing, and the trees on the second plan made just by the special effects of the watercolor, which is just really right language of the water. Beautiful, and the textures here just amazing. You can look at this painting for the hours, inside it's so many nice details with the texture, with the lines, with the graphic design inside. It's look like a full city, you know with the buildings, with the windows, with the something. I can imagine a lot of things inside. So it's very nice job. Beautiful. A nice character made by just black and white, which is not easy to make, and it's very emotional character. I like that. Plus, the texture here is very nice, and it's truly look like a watercolor. First of all, I know this guy with a cigar. It's a Raja, the artist from India, a very nice artist. By the way, we are friends. So then I saw his painting of him. It was a pleasure to see. He's look like exactly like real Raja. That's important point, and it's very emotional painting with a nice selection of the colors. Good job. Very professional selection of the colors. You know that it's strange because to use the orange with the red and blue colors together, it's not a big deal. But this painting, standing on the two things, it's a very professional selection. Little bit pink reflection on the bottom part of the snow, and the grayscale roof in the middle. So there, two things finally keep that composition. And that selection wasn't easy to make, you know, plus the unusual color of the sky. And it's look very transparent, nice. And the details here in the snow, that tiny lines, beautiful. Nice reflection. One of my favorite subject anyway. And the doggy and again, here we have a feeling. When I look at the picture, I can feel the place and time, and it's still very transparent and it's look like a truly like a watercolor. Good job. George, as usual, very nice play with a not just a texture. I know some artists who like to paint kind of that subjects, but here, what is really nice, the composition, definitely, because they paint the rust stuff. Yeah, technically it's interesting, but I saw many pictures like that. This time the composition just brilliant, and I really appreciate what the artists keep a lot of white paper. That's interesting, and it's a right way to use the watercolor from my point of view. We have to respect the paper. It's a big part of our projects. Very nice job. Uh, it's how to explain it. I saw many hyper-realistic paintings for sure, uh, and normally it's always more or less bright colors, huge contrast, and the texture. Here, everything made almost in one color selection. Orange, reddish, yellowish, all together. There is no green, blue. So it's kind of unusual things, and it's technically it's very well done. Plus, I like the soft blur on the background on the books, so it's look very nice. Good selection. Okay. Unusual way to use a watercolor. Technically, because I'm an artist, I'm not just just the guy who watch on the painting. I understand it's a lot of masking fluid here was used. I think. I'm not sure, but I think. So I like how it was made technically. It's good feeling of the water, very nice selection of the colors, and I'm really love the texture of the rocks there. Beautiful. Uh, Nice point of view. I don't know how the artists make that reference photo or decide to paint it from this because that's view from the board, and it's pretty small board because we see the big wall like that. The point of view are really unusual. I'm really like it, and the combination with the different blue colors together plus red with the reflection, it's look very nice. You know, that stuff I see in my house every day. I never think to paint it, definitely. So I use it, but I never paint it. So that's why then I see it with a nice texture in that order, just like chaos, and it's look so nice and so alive. Very nice. Very delicate balance between the nice texture with the granulation special effects and very detailed job with a small brush, precise. So in total, it's combined very well. Uh, it's just gorgeous because special because I'm traveling. I see the old buildings like that, special in Europe, a lot. And normally, then I'm trying to paint it. I'm always trying to choose the right paint for that with the granulation special effects, for instance, with the lifting. But these are made like I can imagine it's like a meditation. The artist sitting and make all that small things, beautiful things on the wall, and I feel like the artist enjoy to do that. That's why I'm enjoy to observe the painting. Very nice. And here's a lot of respect to the time. Again, I'm looking at the painting, I'm smiling. So that means it's truly art because it's touching. Uh, Very unusual idea to use that bright blue color for the background. Personally, I never make it, but I like how it works. Because normally the background is just a background. It's something very soft to represent your main subject. And normally we never use the active colors for that. Plus, here, the bright yellow light. So in total, together, it works perfectly. Good job. And very emotional. Uh, Perfect graphic design. That can be a beautiful cover for a lot of magazines and the books. I really like how it's organized. Diagonals, it's very nice composition, and respect with the small details here. Very nice. I feel the flowers. you know, it's just incredible because, yeah, a lot of details inside plus reflection. So we can watch what inside that painting for hours and back to the some parts again and again. And in the same moment, it's so bright colors, unusual selection, and very professional job. That's again example of the right balance in the watercolor. Look at the sky. It's made just by one washing, one touching, truly fresh and simple, and the same moment very detailed job with the grass and the rocks. Together it works perfectly. And I feel myself like I'm going to fishing on that place, and I want to be there, definitely. Absolutely gorgeous way to use watercolor. So fresh, so spontaneous, so nice, and the same moment, the character of the bird just incredibly made. Absolutely professional. Amazing composition plus very nice job with the texture all together here. And the characters, I see just the backs, but the characters are different. And the composition with the moon or kind of moon make it so personally emotion. Absolutely beautiful job. And it's look like a stone here. So it's not look like a really paint, it's look like a stone. Unusual stuff and beautiful. Again, you couldn't watch on that painting and not smiling. It's a big fun. And the characters here are just amazing. And what I'm really like, the reflection on the cell phone. That's unusual decision of the artist. I really appreciate it. Plus, incredible reflection in the glasses. So all together, a lot of small things finally make the painting beautiful. Very alive sketch. So, then we make the sketches. Normally, which artists make a lot of sketches, but normally we always trying to organize the bright colors inside, the nice composition, pay attention for the details. Here, it just like for me, it's like a beginning of the future project. But it's like, I start to make the sketch for my future project, but in the same, at once I understood It's done. I don't have to make the painting. Everything is here. So that's my feeling about that sketch. And I really like what the tower going out of the frame. So it's beautiful. Awesome feeling of the daytime. It's like a golden hour, the sunset. Nice feeling of the place. And you know that we can imagine a lot of details there which is not exist. But how the artist make just a few touching for the windows, few touching for the boats, and it's starting to look real. That's amazing. Beautiful. Very emotional picture. Absolutely gorgeous clouds, definitely, and the composition very nice. We can sit in here on the border of the water for the hours and make a meditation. So that's emotions about that painting. Very well done. I like the yellow color in the sky. Unusual, but beautiful. Again, I couldn't imagine what I'm gonna paint something like that. But then I see it again, it's just, very nice what some artists, some people can see beauty inside the regular stuff. Plus, again, it's a very nice job with the texture. Unusual selection with the colors as well. Bright blue and the stones look very strange, but I like the painting. It's look so alive. I just want to eat it. And I really like the background. That's truly watercolor language with all the special effects with the cauliflowers. It's look like a kind of salt inside. And the same moment, very detailed and very fresh and nice made the main object. Absolutely gorgeous watercolor. Yeah, everybody can proud of what all that painting just it's it's a top level paintings and I really like it. Look, first, how soft mixed all the colors. Yellow, purple, orange, all together, absolutely soft, nice, create a shape and feeling. And the eyes, I can look at these eyes for hours. So that's absolutely incredibly softness of watercolor. Very hard to make technically, and it's very well done. Everything what we're looking from the art are right here. It's very alive because it's unfinished. Just a few lines create the character. The character perfectly understandable. And I can imagine this guy with all the details, his life. I see everything inside. I can imagine what he did like 20 years ago. He's so alive, so real, and it's made just by few strokes. Just incredible. That's gorgeous because, first, the composition, definitely very nice. The selection of the colors, absolutely beautiful. More important, the artists pay attention for the details. Again, I can imagine like it's like a meditation. For the hours, the artist sitting and create that beauty part by part, brick by brick. And together, then I look at this painting, I can spend an hours to see that small touch in here. Just gorgeous. Um, it's very emotional painting because of the very delicate selection of the colors. Absolutely beautiful contrast, a reflection. Very nice texture on the first line with the small dots. So I can feel myself on that place. That means that's real art. I want to be there. I feel it. And that's very important. Very well made character with a beautiful eyes, emotions on the face, which is not easy to make. Again, the background put this guy in the time. We know where is he and what he's doing just because of the background. And I like the lines on this apron. It's beautiful selection. So all together make this picture very real. And the yellow colors here, the combination with the purple, with the brown, with the green, they are so soft, so nice, so delicate, beautiful. Yeah, one of the biggest challenge, it's a nocturne, the night painting. Here, plus reflection in the same moment. So it's a double challenge, night and reflection. Very well done. And I'm really like the shape of the city, the silhouette with the towers, with the trees, everything. And you know what is make it really emotional for me? Because I'm an artist, I'm trying to understand what inside. The blue reflection on the top of the building, especially it's visible on the right side, very close to the sky. So that make the feeling of the light very real. It's absolutely beautiful, nice painting. One of my favorite, seriously. I saw that many times, then I scroll the paintings for make a selection all the time, and I see that I'm start to smiling non-stop. Uh, Never ever me personally decide to paint that object from this point of view that way. But I'm always smiling, so that painting always make me feel happy, and it's just beautiful. And diagonals make it so alive, and movements, everything is there. Amazing. Very detailed, nice job. And I know a couple of artists who paint kind of that stuff in acrylic and oil. And I understand how hard to make that in the watercolor and keep the reflection, white, bright light, and the darkness and everything. So, and pay attention for all that small details in the watercolor. So that's truly unusual, very complicated, and a very professional painting. Uh, you know, First of all, I know that artist. We are friends. He's amazing, and what he doing just incredible. And you can see it here, the light in the darkness like that. It's always look like a miracle, and the sky and everything. So it's very hard to put that much feeling in just a simple landscape, and he doing that just incredibly. No words. Such a nice character. Like illustration, it can be done, but normally we're doing that with the outlines, with the ink. But here, that kind of illustration, let's say, made in watercolor, and the artists keep the barber, keep all that freshness and the special effects and truly watercolor language. And that's just amazing. Plus the light and the character is just brilliant, so alive, and the composition with the diagonal like that. So everything here is perfect. Uh, Personally, I'm not a big fan of the like a hyper-realistic watercolor, but this time I look at that painting again and again and again and again. And what is important first, I believe in that. It's look for me, it's look alive, not just real, alive. And to make alive subjects in the hyper-realistic watercolor, it's not easy. You can make it like visible with all the details, but alive, it's a different things. And this, for me, here, the artists make the real artist job, observe and discovering, following all the small lines, all the details. It's absolutely gorgeous, plus very nice composition. So that's amazing painting. Uh, Again, for me, it's like a little bit like Andrew White, which is my favorite artist. The composition, diagonals, everything, but what I'm really like here, a little bit unusual watercolor special effects. That grayish lines around the buildings, the trees, the way how the artist create the trees and explain me the character of the trees, really not usual way. Honestly, I see that the first time. I never saw the trees like that. And I appreciate the discovering of the technical way how to make it. And plus, for sure, it's a very emotional painting. Beautiful. Such a nice character and very alive. And the good light, beautiful contrast. And the same moment, very alive strokes with a dry brush, with a soft blending. So that's absolutely, truly watercolor. With all the mixing of colors inside, the combination, little bit granulated things, absolutely right way how to use the watercolor from my point of view. Very nice artwork. I remember it was two paintings from this artist represented for the selection. It was very hard to choose which one is better because both of them was really good. Again, it's a beautiful object, brilliant. I couldn't imagine what I'm gonna paint it, and if I'm gonna paint it, I never have enough patience to create all that beautiful small details inside. But exactly that make it so real, alive, and so emotional. Absolutely gorgeous. That painting I can put on my wall definitely. Uh, you know, personally, I feel it's like one of the goal for each artist, how to create a painting almost from nothing. So everything is unfinished. I can imagine the buildings here, the roofs, you see, there's some small houses. I feel the time, temperature of the air. I feel a lot of things here, but it's made from nothing. Everything unfinished, just small strokes on the right place with the right colors. For me, it's the goal what we want to create, what I want to create. And that's just incredible. Uh, One of the most complicated painting. Look, to create the value and create the 3D shape in one layer, in one touching, that's the top level of the professional masters. So here everything exists. It's a 3D. In the same moment, the texture, beautiful. The colors, beautiful. Composition, amazing. And to paint that in one touch, it's the top level. Absolutely. Gorgeous. Congratulations.
And everyone, we can't hold these shows without thanking our patrons who are amazing and do an amazing job for us. And we thank them very, very much. And there they are. So please give them your support, buy from them, buy their products, pass their names on. They've been wonderful to Northwest Watercolor Society.
Yeah, and again, you see all the paintings now, and you see how different they are, how emotional they are, how unusual they are. So if you put it on the wall, all that paintings, it's like a different parts of the one big world. and we see how different the artist, and that's make it so amazing, just incredible.
Michael, you did an amazing job judging this show, and you have been really great to work with. You judged the show in record time, which gave those of us volunteers extra time to do our jobs, which was very much appreciated. I can't tell you how much we really appreciate that. So thank you very much for all of your participation. Your workshop was fabulous. The demo you gave in January was off the charts. I mean, the comments I got for the
Mm.
demo were just amazing, and we just can't thank you enough. I'm really,
It's my
I'm
honor and pleasure. Thank you.
well, thank you, and thank you for being up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it didn't take too long. It's
Yeah,
only been an hour, so it's not hasn't
good.
been. You can go back to bed.
Yes.
And everybody, before we say goodnight, I would really like to thank Kay Seal. She actually was one of our award winners tonight. She was the one with the tears and the little boy whose eyes, Michael, you could get lost in forever. She's a
Yeah, yes.
fabulous artist and fabulous painter, and she spent many, many hours on this presentation, this slideshow. There are 85 slides, and you guys, that's a lot of work. And I really appreciate it, Kay. You did a great job. And so thank you for being my partner in that. And Debbie, thank you.
And thank you, Molly. And really big applause, round of applause for all of our award winners and really for everyone that is part of this exhibition and especially the award winners. That is a tough job, Michael. Thank you very much for such an excellent job.
Yeah, it really is. And everybody, believe it or not, we're opening registration for our International Open exhibition in just a little over a week. I mean, we get no break. We go right from one show to the next. And so our International
Yes.
Open is going to be open for entries on, I believe it's May the 9th, Debbie. I think that's what we've published. And I really hope everybody crafts their best painting ever and enters it into the show. We'd love to have you be part of our show. So thank you. This was a pleasure. And see you in the fall for the open reception. Thanks
Thank you,
again,
Thank you
Michael.
so
everyone.
much. Thank you.
Good
Yep.
night.
Good night, everybody. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.